All right, good morning everyone. Today in this video, I'm just gonna mostly be explaining tips and tricks on how to increase your sales, specifically on Depop for 2024, but also these will work across all platforms you sell on, eBay, Mercari, Poshmark, all of those. So we're gonna get into this, and I'm hopefully gonna be able to help you guys get at least like 30 to 50 more sales a month, which is around like a 1 or 2 extra sales a day. And I really think that these will work. This comes from a person that's been a top 100 seller on Depop for the last like almost 2 years. Every month I'm consistently right at that range. I've been all the way from like top 30 to top 80, and a couple months where I've slacked off a little bit in the 90s, but every month top 100 seller. And these are ways that I've went from making 5 sales a week to 60, 70 sales a week and more. So yeah, I'm gonna give you guys a quick rundown on how I did that and my strategies behind it. All right, first up is you have to diversify what you're selling. And I kind of mean a lot of things by that. I'm gonna put these points up here too as I go, just so you guys can have kind of like a reading aid so you see as I'm talking. But so diversify what you're selling. What that means, I sell a range of men's and women's and some kids stuff, just depending on what it is and kind of like what I'm finding. But the biggest thing is with men's and women's, a lot of my buyers are women buying men's clothes. Now what that means is I know I have a lot of women already buying the men's clothes, so I might as well sell women's clothing as well. And honestly, with vintage, what's really cool about it, or I think it's really popular, a lot of the stuff is unisex. Like let's just say this t-shirt right here, this would, in like the Depop details, you'd put this as a men's shirt, but this is something that a man or a woman would want to buy. And that goes with almost every vintage shirt, honestly. I tend to see that a lot of the shirts that I would quote unquote call a men's shirt in the details of the Depop listing, a woman may buy. So you also want to have a lot of women's gear, so that way the women that want to buy the pants, the jeans, the shorts, it's harder for them to fit into the men's pants and bottoms. But if you have a lot of women's listings sold, sometimes they'll buy that t-shirt, but also buy that woman's pair of jeans or that woman's pair of shorts or pants, whatever it is. They'll buy a whole outfit. And to have a diversify can really help make that extra 1 sale a day, and can make your life a lot easier. So that's just one major thing that I've kind of run into recently, is I've been seeing a lot of one men's shirt selling with bundled with a women's jeans or women's shorts, pants, whatever it is. And that's an extra, like, and I do also offer bundle free shipping, which I'll talk about later, but that also helps me bring in an extra $20, $30 per sale, which only increases my profits, and it also increases how much money I have to spend on future investment. So the year is now 2024, which is absolutely crazy. And what that means is, with vintage, 20 years means vintage. So anything in 2004 now is vintage. What I've found recently is a lot of the early 2000s Y2K gear is flying. Now Affliction, major brand, every like good reseller knows to buy Affliction at this point. Like this Affliction Aussie t-shirt, this is kind of like a grail upon Affliction stuff. But the Y2K stuff is popping off. I just listed these, like this shirt right here, and a couple other, like this Aussie t-shirt is listed the same as this Grateful Dead Space Your Face 1992 t-shirt. So that just shows you, and also like they get the same amount of attention on Depop, which is awesome. But you really got to diversify. People that maybe, like, I don't wear Y2K stuff, it's not my fashion, but I do think it's cool, and I think a lot of people online think it's really cool and they want to wear it. So make sure you're buying all the Y2K vintage you can find, and diversify it a little bit more. Like I said, with the men's and women's, the Y2K and vintage really is hot right now, and half of my sales are Y2K stuff. So make sure you diversify a little bit into that, and touch bases with it. And even if it's something, I think too many people get biased when they're shopping. Like 90% of the stuff I buy in thrift stores, I wouldn't actually wear myself, or I can't wear because it doesn't fit me, but I still buy it because I know it will fit someone and someone else will like it. So you really got to take those little risks. And in Goodwill, if you're buying it from a thrift store, your risks aren't even that high. You're paying around like $3 to $10 an item, and 10 being like the max. Honestly, usually it's like around $3 to $6. And with those little risks, you can make massive profits, and they add up really quickly. So make sure you're buying the Y2K stuff right now because it is hot and it is selling, which a lot of people already know. But I know so many people that aren't picking it up are making fun of the people that pick up Affliction, but those are selling way faster than the vintage stuff they're picking up. So yeah, make sure you grab the Y2K vintage always. All right, the next little tip and trick is an obvious one as well for most people, but for some it's not. You have to make sure you're washing your items. Now, I actually recently, I have no problem saying this because it's whatever. I recently just received a 2 out of 5 star review, which I take personally because I really care about my reviews, and they're all 99.9% 5-star reviews. Now, the person left me a bad review because these were some really thick black suede leather pants. It said on the wash tag, do not wash these. Do not machine wash them. Do not. So I sprayed them, steamed them to disinfect them, and I didn't end up washing them because it told me not to. And I'm not going to take them to a dry cleaners. It was only a $20, $25 item. So if I would take them to the dry cleaners, I would have lost all my profit and time associated with it. So I posted it on there. I didn't say in the listing that I had washed them, but the person that bought them, received them, left me negative feedback because they said that the item smelled. I don't know how, I really don't, I didn't smell the item. I didn't think it smelled bad when I was packaging it or picturing it or steaming it, anything like that. But you just have to take it with a grain of salt and say, wow, well, that sucks. I screwed up a little bit. Should have taken more time to make sure the item smelled clean and everything else. But at the end of the day, it happened. Now with steaming, this is something that is an investment, but it will help your business more and more. And it's not a very expensive investment. I actually picked up this big steamer at Goodwill, but this is probably my 5th or 6th handheld steamer I've had. I don't like the big bulky ones. They just take up too much room, and they're expensive. But these little ones, they do the same job. They're easy. I paid $5 for this one at Goodwill, but you can get these for under $20 all day. And you can even find these in Walmart if you don't have an Amazon account or whatever. So steaming your clothes makes the clothes look very clean, and it also removes all the wrinkles, helps point out little tiny flaws that someone may not see if there is a wrinkle there or whatever. And it makes the pictures look so much better. So make sure you're steaming your stuff. It only helps. It makes your items look cleaner, makes your items look way better on the main page, and customers like to see it. Next up, you have to make sure you have a good backdrop and really good lighting. Now, lighting can be very hard because lighting can get expensive. Now, this one right here, as you guys can see in the background, I actually got this as a Christmas gift from my girlfriend. It was something I asked for. It's just a nice white light LED strip. Really helps the lighting, the ambiance of the room when I'm taking photos. And behind that one, I have the lamp that I've had for 2 years. I have it taped up, it's busted up, but at this point it works fine. I don't see the reason to invest into a new one quite yet. But I do have, in that lamp right there's about $80 in light bulbs in it. I have 2 Hue LEDs that do a really, really nice bright white. And for the longest time, all I used was that one, and it worked fine. This one I probably wouldn't have purchased myself, just because it is a little bit of an investment. These are only $30-40, but I didn't really need it. But ever since I had 2, I wish I would have done this a long time ago because it looks so good to have them on both sides. And the backdrop right here, I just use a simple vintage Mexican blanket. I love this one. I think looks really good in photos, and it also, the thing about backdrops people don't think about is everyone right now for some reason is doing the backdrops where they tuck the sleeves in under the back, put it on the concrete ground so it looks kind of artsy or whatever. This is I think people that started doing this are oh, I'm different. Now everyone's doing it. So I don't advise anyone to do the concrete backdrop photos for a multitude of reasons. I'll just give a couple. One, everyone's doing it. You don't make yourself look different. And I think this background for me has become kind of a trademark. When people see it, they know it's my item. They know I'm going to have good customer service, and they know I work with people on pricing and everything else. So yeah, this is you really want to trademark something that is yours and buyers can see, especially returning buyers. They can see that you have the same backdrop each time. And I've changed mine throughout the years, but this is the one I've had for a couple months and the one that I'm going to keep for a while. Until I find one that I think will suit better. But yeah, this is a really good backdrop. I like it and it works. Another thing is, at least when I'm shopping, and so I know if I am, then there's other people's out there. I'd much rather see my item hung up, steamed on the wall, not on a concrete ground where you don't know how dirty it is. You don't know if anyone swept it, cleaned it, whatever. All right, next up, I'm gonna put you guys on some shipping knowledge. Now, this comes from someone who's done this since like 2017 and shipped out items. So, shipping. I buy some stuff off Depop, not a lot, but sometimes I do. And when I do, I feel like at least half the time, people use a priority mail box for a t-shirt or a sweatshirt, and they're paying priority mail shipping through the post office. Now, if you're a new seller and you don't know about this, please listen to this one, because this one is super important to cut your shipping costs down in like half. I use these poly mailers right here. If you guys have any questions, I can send you what exact one that I buy on Amazon through my Instagram. So just message me on Instagram. I'll give you guys the Amazon link where you can pick up these right here, because they are cheap. I pay around $20 to $25 for over 1,000 of these little white poly mailers, and I haven't had any issue. They have great adhesive and they have great reviews. Now, with shipping, if you do take your item to the post office, use their boxes and their shipping there, you're gonna pay like $8 to $12 to ship out a t-shirt or a sweatshirt, which is absolutely insane. I pay $5 to $7 per item shipped. Even to California, UPS has really stepped up, and make sure you use Pirate Ship or another shipping software like that, because they're all pretty similar. I think Pirate Ship's is the cheapest, the easiest, and it's worked for me for the past like year and a half, and I love it. Now, UPS label here, let me cross out. This is a UPS label. It looks a little bit different, but the UPS labels, they ship out stuff to California very cheap. I think like this package right here was £1. This is £1. The dimensions were 10 by 8, and so that's a pretty good size, like a hoodie, I think it was, and or it's actually a hoodie and a t-shirt. I paid $7.50 for that. If you guys went to the post office and try to do that, you're paying like $12-15. Absolutely insane. Diversify your shipping softwares and diversify your shipping companies, because you will save a ton of money, a ton. And with that also, don't use priority mail, honestly, unless it's like a high dollar item, because if I sell something over $100, I will use priority shipping just to get the insurance, and it just makes the buyer a lot happier for a high dollar item. For like the $20 to $30, $40 items, I use Ground Advantage shipping. Haven't had any issues with it. It works great, and I get it through Pirate Ship, and I pay about $5 to $7 per item. So believe me, it's gonna change your sales. It's gonna change how much profits you make, and it's gonna change like your kind of motivation to get stuff shipped out, because you're not gonna be dropping $500, $600 to ship out items. When I do ship out items, it's usually around $50 at a time. And in the 50s, I probably pay around $250 to $300 to ship those all out. So great pricing. Make sure you use Pirate Ship, and do not lie about the weight and the dimensions, because they will charge you later on for that, and it'll be more than what you would have paid to just get the item shipped on your thing and not lie. Next one is, you want to make sure you have a massive range of pricing on your page. I think I have items all the way up from like $15 to $800. Most of my items sell for around $20 to $30. That is my price range, and that's kind of where I make that's my money made, honestly. The $20 to $30 items is how I make my money, is how I pay my mortgage, is how I do everything, is that $20 to $30 price range, but it adds up. I sell probably around 50 items in that $20 to $30 range a week. My profits on those are usually like $10 to $20. But I also have those like extra 10 to 15 items that sell for around $50 to $150. Some even higher weekly, just depends on what items sell. But I find too many people, I've talked to too many people that say, oh, I only list my high dollar items, my low stuff, I'll just like wholesale to someone or whatever. I buy wholesale people all the time, and a lot of those items I pay like $3 to $5 a piece for, and I sell them for $20 to $30 a piece. If I can do 100 of those every like week to week and a half, you are making bread and butter money, and that's how you pay all the bills, honestly. Best way to do it. You do not want to have all of your items be low cost too, which, I mean, that's not like a terrible thing. It's better to do that than everything high price, because you're just not going to make sales that way. You want to really make sure you have a good medium, and make sure that the items are diversified high to low, low to high. because a lot of times also I find that people that buy the high dollar items tend to maybe grab 1 or 2 cheaper items too. For one, they get free shipping that way from my selling platform, and also I think that they see, oh, I'm paying a lot for this one. If I buy this lower end item, maybe sell it and make a little bit of profit, it takes away from their cost of their personal item. So yeah, make sure you have a nice array of selling costs. Next tip I have for you guys is communication. Now, this can be a wide array of what that means, but the main basis of communication that I have are talking to returning customers. That's a big one. So you want, when someone buys something from you, they leave 5-star review, message them, hey, you ever find something else you like, I'll give you a little bit of a discount, just let me know. Honestly, I probably made a couple hundred sales that way this year alone. Or they message me and be like, hey, I bought something from you before. Does it fit like the last item or whatever like that? Make sure you respond and let them know like, hey, yes, it measures the exact same. It's gonna have the exact type of material and it's gonna sit the exact same on your body. If you do want it, I'll take off a couple bucks for you, no problem, and have it shipped out for you tomorrow. That right there does a lot for the returning customers because there isn't a lot of sellers that are doing that, believe me. I get so many messages from customers, and if you look at my feedback, a lot of them say amazing communication, super nice, great seller, because I actually like talk to them. And if you look at other people's feedback, a lot of the time they'll leave negative reviews because the item had a flaw or they didn't know about an item because of lack of communication, or they'll just say, I bought the item, didn't hear anything from the seller for 3 weeks, and then received the item or got a refund or whatever it is. And I understand like it happens. I've accidentally had slip-ups where someone's purchased something, I printed the shipping label out for them, went to get the item, completely spaced it, it got lost or whatever, and then I got negative feedback 3 weeks later. The guy said, city shipped out, messaged him, didn't get a response, whatever it is, and it happens. It's not, I mean, it sucks, but it's not like the end of the world. But if you can minimize those issues and errors on your end as much as possible, it really, really makes a difference on how many items you will sell and the feedback you receive, and also just the follows you get on those selling platforms. Another big point that a lot of people don't take advantage of enough is hashtags and keywords. These can get a little fishy, a little sticky, especially with Depop, because they do flag people for spamming keywords and lying in bios. Even though the details of the item are up here, they'll hit enter a couple times, go away at the bottom, and put in like 50 different keywords for 50 different items that item isn't. You can get into big trouble for that on Depop. I've seen accounts get like deleted and banned, suspended from that. So you do not want to do that. But you want to make sure that you do take advantage of the hashtags and some keywords that you may have that you just couldn't include into an item. Now, this one, I keep using this shirt, but this shirt right here, my hashtags for the shirt, of course, number one would be vintage, and then I would throw in like hippie, psychedelic, rave, festival, summer, bright, neon. You only have 5 hashtags, but all those like words I just said, keywords, are very important. So what you can do is do those hashtags, and then under the hashtags, put in there neon, night, unisex, rave, summer, festival, GD, deadhead, because all those keywords are related to this item. You cannot get flagged for that from Depop, and you just added an extra like 15 keywords to your item that you wouldn't have had before, and that can make the difference between the right buyer finding your item and the right buyer not finding your item. So make sure you do that. That's something I'm actually going to try to do myself more. A lot of the time I forget to add the extra keywords, and so like even this is something I'm implementing for 2024 to really help improve my sales, because it does take a little bit of time. It takes a little bit of extra time to add those keywords in at the bottom, and if you're doing something like me where I do 15 to 20 listings a day, it does add an extra 10-15 minutes to think of those words and make sure those words are right, so you cannot get flagged on Depop for them. But it is very important, and it will make a difference in selling your item to the right buyer. The next big tip I have for you, I don't even know what I'm at right now. I'll have them all right here. But the next big tip that I have found and has worked really well for me this past year, I actually implemented this at the start of 2023, and it made a drastic difference in my sales. The tip is you want to discount your items. Now, Depop implemented this feature last year, I believe, in 2023, where you can add a discount to your items, and you can do it in bulk, like select a bunch of items, then add that discount. And what I do is right when I post something, I'll get my 15 items posted, and then I'll bulk discount them all 10%. Why I do that? There's a lot of reasons. This is probably reasons that people don't even know or have thought about before, but on Depop's homepage, a lot of the time, not all the time, but a lot of the time, they'll have freshly discounted or new arrivals or whatever it is, up to 40% off sale items, whatever it is, on their main page. A lot of people tend to click on that up to 40% sale page on the homepage, where your items will be shown there at the very top because you just posted them and you added that discount. Now, this can be a little fishy for sellers that don't have a lot of items or sellers that are just starting to get into selling, because you lose a little bit of profits. And what I mean by that is I always post stuff at market price, or try to. Maybe a lot of times, honestly, a lot lower than market pricing, just depending on like what I paid for the item. But like this shirt right here, you can find a wide array of this shirt exactly on for sale for like $100 to $200. Now I posted it at like $125, added that 10% discount, so it dropped it to $112.50. And I've already noticed that I found a lot of people messaging me more about this item and liking this item more than other sellers that maybe have it at $110, because I see that discount. That discount means a little bit of something to them. When people have like a physical tag that our Depop puts on the picture, they put a little percentage logo. It shows them, oh, this item's discounted, and I can get it at a cheaper rate than what it should be. It does really good. I mean, it plays into consumerism super well. People need visual aids to try to make them make a decision whether they're gonna buy the item or not, and it really does drastically make a difference. And also, Depop added a new feature last year as well, where if you've had an item posted for like a week to a month or whatever it is, it's gonna get a lot of likes. It's gonna get a lot of attention. It's gonna get a lot of people looking at the item and saving it, sending it to someone else, whatever it is. If you already have the discount of 10% and discount it to 15%, it sends a notification to the seller, hey, this seller or notification to the buyer saying, hey, this seller just dropped their item of their price, make a move before someone else does. That is huge. That is absolutely huge, because it's gonna get the person that was already had interest in the item enough that they'd like it, save it, whatever it was, or send an offer on it. And it's gonna show them that, hey, I can get it for a cheaper price than what it was. Maybe now is the time to pull a trigger. It won't always work, but it does work, and it can make you an extra like 30 sales a month just doing it that way. So make sure you always discount items, even if you're worried you're gonna lose some money. You will, but it will pay off in sales, and those sales add up to your profits more than what it would be if the item was just sitting there and not selling, where you're not making any money. All right, next up is shipping. Now, shipping, I do bundle for free shipping. There's a couple reasons why. I'm going to try to quickly explain this in a not confusing way. So say I sell this t-shirt right here, $15. It adds $5 shipping if the buyer just buys one item. They're only going to pay $5 no matter what the item is on my page, unless it's like a heavy coat, it'll be $10. Now, of that $5, I only get $4.50 of that, because Depop takes 10%, so they immediately take their 50 cents, and so I get $4.50. This item will probably cost me around $6 to ship out, so I lose technically $1.50 in profits, but that really doesn't like affect me or hurt my feelings, because that buyer bought my item. And if I was using Depop labels or going to the post office and shipping my stuff out, I would probably be paying, and the buyer would be paying, like upwards of $10 to ship an item, which is absolutely ridiculous. And it turns a lot of buyers away. Believe me, I get so many messages saying, I bought your item over someone else's because your shipping was cheaper, and it saves the buyer $5 to $7, which is really big for an item that only costs them $15. They're not gonna spend $15 on a t-shirt and pay $10 in shipping. Trust, it doesn't work. Now, I do bundle for free shipping because I sell this one for $15, and I sell this one to a different buyer for $15. Right there, I'm making $9 in shipping, but with my cost to ship stuff out, I'm actually losing probably $5 in total to ship these two items out. Now, if I do bundle for free shipping, both of these combined will only cost me about $7 to $8 to ship out. So my shipping costs are way, like, almost the same as if I individually ship those out. But I sold both of them, so my profits are higher at the end of the day. So make sure to switch on bundle for free shipping. It really does make a difference, and buyers love to see it. You'll sell so many more items that way, and it'll really increase your sales. All right, y'all, thank you guys for sticking with me. If you're still here or watching, I did a really long, drawn out version of this video because I've seen it done many times on YouTube. I mean, you can look this topic up and there's thousands of videos on it, but a lot of them don't really tell you, like, they'll just say wash and steam your item, but they don't tell you why that's important or how it can really help your sales. So much love to you guys all for sticking with me and checking this video out. This is different than any other video on my YouTube channel, and the next video here in 2 days will be more thrifting content again, and maybe some insight on my flea market. So thank you guys for watching. If you guys want to see all these tips and tricks implemented, you can check out my Depop channel right here, or page, not channel, where I have like 700 plus items posted, and I post every day. And then my Instagram right here, where I post all of my live finds and some cool information. If you guys have any questions as well that kind of go along with this video or anything else reselling related, you can ask me on there. I always try to answer and help out any type of seller that sells any type of item. So yeah, much love to you guys all. I'll catch you guys here in 2 days. We're on the train of posting every other day, so subscribe for more. Much love.